Hello and welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. My name is John Townley. I'm filling in for Dan Rollinson today, and I'm joined by Aston Villa correspondent Ashley Priest, who's just seen Aston Villa lose 2-1 to West Ham United at the London Stadium. Ash, your thoughts on the game, your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, London Stadium is so quiet, John. You wouldn't believe it. It's like a library in there today. It's so bad. And that was the game in the first half, really. It was played at a snail's pace. I thought it was quite laboured. Both teams were like that, to be honest. Nothing much in the game in that first half. And you're thinking when Antonio's injured and West Ham are making a few changes, you're thinking, can Villa get the tails up here? But in the end, a bit of brilliance. I don't think everyone's spoken about Yarmolenko's finishing off. It's just incredible finish. I know he's had a bit of time to strike home, but take nothing away from the finish. And that got West Ham ahead. And like Gerrard said just here now, he said the game was done in a couple of moments. And that seemed to be the case. Villa give the ball away for the second goal. West Ham advance on the counter. No bodies there in terms of Villa. And the score, the match killing second. So nothing too much in it, really. Villa looking to emulate West Ham, as we know, their European aspirations and to be like that. So, yeah, disappointing, mate. Obviously, the buzz and the momentum's been burst a little bit now. So, on to Arsenal next week, but plenty of positives to take. And be interested to see if he freshens things up.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think, in general, it was a really even game, fine margins. I think that goal was encapsulated, and it was that moment of quality. And there's a fine margin almost, Martinez sort of tipping it into the side net and almost not that he could do much more than that. Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, Gerrard saying before the game that West Ham's the blueprint, and I think today showed that almost. We're not a million miles away. We're a couple of additions away from becoming a team that can go to a West Ham and compete for 90 minutes and possibly take more than, obviously we've lost today, but take away points. I thought, as you say, going 2 goals down, that was a sucker blow, wasn't it, that second goal? If we stay in the game and don't concede those 2 goals, a cheap counter-attack, and again, a good finish by Yarmolenko, but giving far too much space inside the box. If we stay in the game and keep it at 0-0, come the 80th minute, you make your own luck, don't you? And with the quality that we have, obviously we're getting that 1 goal. Could have potentially got a second as well if we scored before we did. But Ash, what did Gerrard say after the game? Any main takeaways from the presser?
Yeah, I mean, massive one. He was asked where Villa short compared to West Ham at the moment, and he said one area, and it's quite an elusive term. He said profile, stature. So by that, I mean, he waxed lyrical about Declan Rice today. He thought he was superb. Gerrard said that. So I think you're hinting at there. If Villa had a Declan Rice in their team as the base of their midfield, they'd be a much better team. So you'll probably whip up a transfer story tomorrow, mate. But yeah, it was definitely tipped towards that. Declan Rice, certain profile, even when defending crosses and stuff like that, John. The shift to keep the ball away from the goal from Zuma, Dawson today were very good, and Cresswell at left back. A defensive shift from West Ham was pretty good today. So I think Gerrard took a lot from that. And yeah, that was his most telling remark, really. That's where Villa are short compared to where West Ham at the moment. It's one thing, profile and stature of a player. So he was asked, can he address that within his group? He said he will look to do that, but given time, I think we'll see in the sort of transfer window, Villa will look to address that issue, possibly in the middle of the park. So, yeah, that's a main takeaway. Quite a funny line about no kissing tonight for Douglas Luiz. I thought it was quite funny. Douglas Luiz got a nasty gash to his lip. He's busted his lip open big time. I haven't seen any close pictures. Was it a bad one?
Yeah, there was a freeze frame of it, and his mouth was all over the place, almost like the box tonight.
Yeah. So he only stitching up. So I guess Douglas will be okay for the weekend against Arsenal. Lucas Dean, John, I think he's struggling now. I think he's got a hamstring issue, as we know. Gerrard said Lucas did say he was okay, but obviously he's a major doubt for Arsenal. So we'll see the grading on that, possibly a tear. We'll see. He'll have an MRI scan. So Lucas Dean probably out of the Arsenal game looking at it. But yeah, lots of bumps and bruises in the dressing room for Villa. Callum Chambers took a nasty whack to the head, as we know. Gerrard called it a forearm smash from Dawson, but he had no qualms with West Ham's physicality today. So, I think Gerrard will take a lot from this result and the manner of the defeat. A bit naive from Villa at times, and you can see what Gerrard's trying to do today. Villa kept the ball much better today and tried to take the sting out of West Ham's attacks, and they're trying to slowly build up. But I think creativity today, I think they lacked a bit of that, to be fair. But I think the game plan was to stop Rice from playing. I seen Danny Ings dropping on Rice countless times. He was following him around like a bad smell. And then, there are moments, isn't it, John? Ings scores that one. Fabianski tips onto the post. Villa get the nose in front, it's a different game. So, yeah, fine moments, like you say, and a big learning game for Villa and Gerrard.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you mentioned, so the Declan Rice thing, he wants that presence. Obviously, we've been linked as well to Calvin Phillips, not just this week, for quite some time now. And Calvin Phillips is almost a duplicate of Declan Rice, especially in that England midfield as well. You see how they work. So that's probably the biggest hint that we're going to get for some weeks before the summer window too. I'm almost taking on what you say there about the Watkins and Coutinho and Danny Ings. I think the game plan was working really well up until we conceded. I think Gerrard, he wants to build from those solid foundations, doesn't he? Let those guys do their thing, express themselves, be confident on the ball. But I think that was, I think, say flat maybe. Today, I think, struggled to maybe combine with the sort of well-drilled team that West Ham have and the players that are obviously going to try and nullify that. So how did you think those three combined? Because obviously so many goals in the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, I asked Moyes about Coutinho and nullifying his set today. He said that was part of their game plan. It would probably be about game plans of every manager. But I thought Coutinho picked the ball up a bit too deep today. I don't know whether West Ham pushed him a bit further away from their goal, which worked a treat for them. Yeah, like you say, a bit laboured today. I think the Leeds game took it out of Villa, given what they did there on Thursday. Gerrard did admit afterwards, perhaps he needed to inject a bit more freshness on the hour, as opposed to a bit later on. So by that time, the game was away from Villa. So yeah, big learning game for Gerrard, like I say, and you possibly should have freshened things up a little bit sooner. I thought Sanson was going to come on at half time. He was getting well worked by the fitness coach, and yeah, I mean, Leon Bailey coming on, Buendia getting his assist as well. Nice goal for Ramsey to score. That's a big confidence booster for him. That's his 6th of the season. He'll take something from that. I thought Ramsey was decent today. Carried a threat, driving forwards. But yeah, like you said, the three didn't link up as well today. Danny Ings had his big chance. Watkins worked hard, as he always does, and forced the errors. And Coutinho was just picked up the ball a little bit too deep today, where we want him a bit more further field to cause his damage. So I thought West Ham did a good job on Villa's attacking three today. I really did. So we'll live and learn with that one.
Yeah, I almost thought that might have been a tactic for Gerrard, especially I think there was a little moment or 10 minutes or so in the first half when West Ham was starting to get back in the game. So we obviously started quite well. They just wanted someone to take the sting out, bring Coutinho a bit deeper. But as you say, I think as the second half sort of wore on, Coutinho was coming into those positions where you don't need him really. That's where you need someone to play the ball. Maybe, again, a Calvin Phillips, almost quarterback position. To start things up from a deeper position, let your attacking players do their stuff, as I say. I thought the substitutions, you say, Morgan Sanson, again, countless questions in the comments right now saying, why isn't he coming on? Why isn't he being allowed to make that difference? How did you rate the substitutions? Obviously, Leon Bailey comes on, a little cameo, and Emi Buendia as well.
I was having a chat in the press room before this. I mean, what does the future hold for the Villa's wingers? You got Bertrand Traoré there, Leon Bailey. Gerrard likes to play compact in midfield, doesn't he? He's played 2 10s previously. He's playing 2 9s now and a 10, as we know. What's the future hold for your Baileys and Traorés and people like that? So very interesting. I thought Sanson would come on and try and keep the ball a little bit better. Villa kept giving it away in that second half, especially. So but straight, I can't point the finger too much. I know what he's trying to do with bringing Leon Bailey on. A bit of pace, a bit of purpose, try and force the issue a little bit. West Ham were tiring after their Thursday night exploits at Sevilla, so they tried to exploit that. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know what I mean? And it didn't work off today. Bailey had a little moment where he chopped inside and had a shot, and had that gone in, we're talking about him. But I don't know. Criticising the manager too much over changes, but today perhaps bringing Sanson might have worked a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's always difficult against West Ham. They seem to be on bogey side at the moment, don't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, I look at it and I'm with you. I can't really criticise Gerrard too much because if I was in that position, I haven't got a clue either, to be honest, because they're so well drilled, they're so compact, really hard to break lines, and that's them coming off the back of a Sevilla, a trip to Sevilla as well. So them, if they had fresh legs too, obviously the bit is 4-1, really, really good team. One comment said that maybe a shake-up's justified for the next game. Obviously, Arsenal at home on Saturday. Is that fair, or do we look at the last couple of weeks and say, three wins, no goals conceded, an off game against West Ham, maybe. A shake-up.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd probably be right to do so. They lost today off the back of 3 wins, so you'd think there'd be a change there. Just Emi Buendia coming for you, John, would you say? Or what change would you make on the face of it?
I think it's always
tough, isn't it?
It is, especially because, again, you're coming off those 3 wins, but then how do you integrate these players after after leaving them out when they're winning, it's all going well. But when you lose, it's almost that excuse to, start changing things. I think if we definitely persist with this formation and it continues to work, then that's fair enough. But I do think your players like Buendias and Baileys, because there's literally no place for them in that team as it stands, in terms of positions, they will be thinking, what, not necessarily what does my future hold, but how will I get back in this team and how am I supposed to, make an impact on Gerrard if I can't even get on the pitch and play my preferred position. So I'm not too sure. Against Arsenal, it's whatever game plan works against them, I suppose. I'd like to see that midfield be compact as it has been in recent weeks. Again, bearing on Douglas Luiz, really, how do you sort of negate that? Because we don't really have that number 6 do at the moment, especially when the Camber injured. Hopefully he comes back for Wolves. I think it is. That's the game that he at least might be known in the squad. So it is a really tricky one. And I think Gerrard will analyse where we're at tomorrow or over the week, and then he'll discuss where we need to go from there. But I'm not too sure on my changes, to be fair, at the moment. I think it's all, again, with bumps and bruises this week, aren't we? So we don't want to change too much. What do you think of those games coming up, Ash? Because it's Arsenal, then it's then we've got a break, then we've got Wolves, Spurs, Liverpool, all coming up in the next month or so. That's quite some run.
It is, it's quite some run. So we'll learn a lot about the team then. A bit of a setback today, like I've said, coming up against a side you want to be overlapping and overtaking, like I say. But it's going to tell us a lot about the Villa, where they're at the moment. There will be some bumps in the road in the next few weeks. We know that. But Villa are getting close. I mean, last time they played West Ham, they got absolutely battered, didn't they, at home? 4-1, I think it was. So they're getting closer to these sides now, and Gerrard said that afterwards in here. It's just about trying to execute the game plan a little bit better, taking your chances when they're 40, a bit like West Ham did today with Yarmolenko popping up. Key moments like that. Do you know what I mean? The good sides take their chances, and Villa need to start doing that. They have done it in recent weeks, like we know, but had that Ings went in today, that chance there could have been a different story. So, Arsenal next, like you say, and then Wolves is a tough game at Molineux. That'll be like a cauldron, like that. They always fancy themselves against the Villa. So, I'm relishing it. It should be a challenge of players relish as well. And hopefully we end the season in a real flurry. Big, like you say, John, it's a massive pre-season, isn't it? A lot of the fringe players will move on, and I think players now are fighting for their futures. I mean, a couple didn't get on today, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to this little period we're having now. Arsenal at home next week, full crowd at Villa Park again, and hopefully we bounce back in style. Yeah,
I agree. I think those are the games you want to kind of not necessarily weed out the weaker players or the players who don't want to be fighting for what we're looking for, but those are the games that the players need to turn up in. So well and good doing it against your mid-table teams like your Southampton's, although they're very good teams, Brighton as well. But you're playing teams that are fighting for Champions League now, as we saw against West Ham today. Plenty of positives to take. But in the next few weeks we'll know more about the team, where we're at. Massive summer ahead. But I think that's all we've got time for today. Ash, thanks for joining me.
I'll dial back from a train. Cheers all. Thanks.
All right, and thanks to everyone else for watching. Make sure you catch us next time on the Claret Blue podcast.